Hello friends and welcome to my channel. Today I have got some fun spring DIY projects to share with you all. I know it's spring being just around the corner. Myself and I'm sure many of you are really looking forward to being able to bring in fun spring colors and cute home decor for this upcoming season. I hope this video inspires you, and before we get started on our first craft, don't forget to click the subscribe button so you don't miss any videos coming up in the future, and please do give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it. Alright, now let's get crafting. This inspiration I thought was so cute. I love the idea of using a little carton of eggs in my kitchen. I thought it would be really cute decor, or even throughout the whole year. There's so many different ways you can style this. So I am taking 3 canvases from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to take off the canvas. I like to keep the biggest part because I use that for other DIYs, banners and things like that. And then I'm going to just strip everything down to the frame itself and stack up 3 with some hot glue. Then I'm going to take these larger tongue depressor sticks that you can get from Walmart, and I'm going to cut them down because this is going to go on the bottom of our little egg crate. And I'm just going to put down some hot glue, and this is going to hold it really well in place. You could add some wood glue, but I've found that the hot glue does really well because these are both really porous pieces, so the hot glue kind of seeps in between these wood cracks. Then I'm going to come back in with those same long tongue depressor sticks, and I'm going to just cut them down to size to create the lining for the eggs to be able to sit in each one. So I've got 2 long ones, and then I've got 3 shorter ones in between each row. I'm just simply measuring them, cutting them down to size, and I'm not going all the way down to the very bottom just because they're not long enough with the depth of how big it is. So I'm just cutting them down until they fit. Then I'm going to take some of these eggs, I'm going to put them on some shish kebab sticks, and I'm going to take them outside and spray paint them all an ivory white color. And my crate, I spray painted it a white color. Now I'm bringing in my stain that I like to make, which is the little bit of black, some brown, and some water. I mix all together, and I'm going to use that to distress it to give it more of a natural look that it's been sitting around for a long time, getting old and weathered. And then I'm going to take some of this mossy grass that you can get from the Dollar Tree and stuff that into all of my crate little openings for those eggs. After that, I'm going to put in my eggs, and it looks so much like the inspiration. I was so excited how this turned out and thought of all the really cute ways that I can decorate with this throughout my home, and I saved a ton of money making this myself. For this DIY, we are going to be using some of these glass jars. I picked them up at Target, but honestly, you can get these all over the place, and lots of them at the Dollar Tree, and then some rope from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to use 2 white nautical ropes and then 1 brown rope. So what I'm doing is I'm noticing that these need to be a certain length at the bottom, and I'm going to make a big oval shape because we're going to be making a glass jar basket to hold all of these in. I'm just going to continue to coil them around until I get to the end of that rope, and then I'm going to add on that second rope. I wanted to make sure that it's wide enough and that junction of those 2 ropes is at the bottom, and then I'm going to start coming and building up the side. Now I'm showing all the steps of this because I just want you to see exactly how I built it up the side where you can make your basket really strong. My biggest recommendation is make sure that you're massaging those ropes together every single time you put another bead of glue along that line. And then once you get those all going and you notice that it's getting stronger and stronger, this is the coolest thing. I'm going to actually put some handles on here without having to compromise the rope being cut. You can see that I pulled it out a little bit longer, and then I continued on my journey around. So now I've created 2 handles, and then where I stopped, I'm going to bring back in that darker rope, and I'm going to go around 2 more times, and it makes the coolest basket to be able to hold these glass jars. Now they sell these so expensively on sites like Pottery Barn Friends, I made this for $3. Please know that you can have the most beautiful things in your home for hardly any money. Once the basket was all done, I added in my jars and whatever florals I wanted. DIY is super simple. You're going to take one of these plastic Easter baskets and some carrots from the Dollar Tree. I'm also going to be using some fabric in just a bit. You're going to see that, as well as some Dollar Tree rope. I took off the handle, measured about the height of the carrots from the bottom of the basket, and now with my scissors I'm just going to cut off the extra that we don't need. Once you've got that all cut off, you're going to take some burlap fabric and you're going to just glue it onto the bottom of the basket, pulling it as tightly as you can, wrapping it all the way around. And you can see here that I put the handle back on. It has these little teeth on it that allow it to just pop right back onto the basket. Now we're going to take those carrots and we're going to just wrap them all the way around the whole basket. My inspiration for this basket actually came from the Michaels store. They had this basket at their store, and when I saw it, I knew right away I had to dupe this one. It was super expensive at their store, and we're going to make this so affordable using Dollar Tree carrots, their basket, and some rope. Once I had the carrots all the way around, I went ahead and took one of their nautical brown ropes. I untwisted it because there's 3 on each rope that are twisted together, and then I wrapped it around the handle. And then I took another one of the ropes from the Dollar Tree that's not untwisted, and I just coiled that all around on the inside, gluing it all together to make sure it had a nice finished look. Once everything was all coiled and pushed down inside, I used my scissors and cut off the extra that I didn't need and continued to coil it until it was all the way completely finished and you could no longer see the yellow basket. This was the easiest project and the results turned out so stinking cute. What do you all think? Leave a comment down below to let me know if you like it. This inspiration came from Antique Farmhouse. I love these crates, but I would not pay $89 for them. So we're going to use some supplies from the Dollar Tree, 2 of these chalkboard frames, and then 10 of these painter sticks that you can get from a home improvement store. And then we're going to simply start by putting 3 on the shorter side of the chalkboard frames. I put some hot glue down first, and then I used my staple gun and stapled it into place. So you can see I've got 3 on each of the shorter sides, and then on the bottom side I've got 4 more. So at this point it's created this cute, darling little crate, and completely on budget for a little bit under $3. Now I'm going to take some black paint, brown paint, and water, mix it all together to create a faux stain. And now I'm going to just simply paint that right onto the box itself, and it absorbs in, still showing the wood grain, and looks so much like the inspiration. Then I'm going to come in with some white paint and dry brush on it to distress it a little bit and make it look more rustic farmhouse, and then sand where I've got too much. And here it is, the inspiration versus mine, where I've saved a ton of money. For this next DIY, we're going to be using some of these books from the Dollar Tree. Friends, they sell these inspirational books for so much money. I hope that you have not purchased these when you can make them yourself. Start by picking up however many books you need for your inspirational word. Then with your craft knife, slit along where the book cover is and that first cover page. Now, depending on how rough you want it to be, sand off some of the extra, and then take some twine, wrap those books together and tie it tight with a pretty bow on it, or a knot, whichever you prefer. Once you're all done getting your bow tied on there, at this point you can put whatever you want on these books. Your family name, a beautiful word to inspire. It's completely up to you. Or you can even leave them blank, and they are just so pretty to be able to put out in your decor, and it's the easiest DIY that costs almost pennies. You can also use old books that you were planning on donating. I always recommend using a book that you are not planning on reading anymore, because once it goes in here, it's not coming out. Then this is where it gets even easier. If you have a Cricut machine or a Silhouette, you can obviously cut out some vinyl letters, but the Dollar Tree has some rub-on transfers, and all you have to do is cut out the letters you want, take them with a popsicle stick, place them on the book, rub them on, and you have the most beautiful DIY for hardly any money. Friends, again, if I could convince you, don't ever buy these. These are so affordable, and I know so many people buy these for home decor. For our next DIY, this one is so easy, you all. I cannot wait for you to see how easy this is. Take a can or two, some fabric that you love, some florals from the Dollar Tree, and a foam square. Start by using white paint and putting it all over the corrugated metal that you see in the middle of these cans. We're not worrying about painting the top or the bottom because we're going to be doing something with that later, but just right around where that bumpy part is. Once it's dry, you're then going to take some sandpaper and you are going to sand over it so that you have that corrugated metal look to it, which is really, really pretty when it's all done and sanded down, just like how I'm doing here. So go over the whole surface and then put it off to the side, because next we're going to be using our gingham fabric that I have here. Again, I got this from Joann's with a coupon. I always use coupons when I go to stores. I love coupons. I love getting things on a budget. So go ahead and cut a little snip and then just rip all the way down so that you have a nice strip to work with, and then put that to the side for just a second and get some twine, and you're going to just wrap it around the bottom. Remember how I said earlier we don't need to paint the bottom because we're going to be adding something? Well, we're adding this twine to the bottom. Snip off what you don't want for the extra strings, because that'll be the back side. Then you're going to take your fabric, you're going to fold it in half, and you are just going to wrap it around the top where the seam is towards the back, just the same place where you tied that knot earlier. Have those be towards the back. And then you're just going to flip it over, hot glue it down into place. And then once you've got some foam inside of your cans and glued in place, you are going to add in your florals. I like to cut off my flowers from their stems just because I feel like you can play with them more and they look more lifelike versus keeping them on that weird plastic piece that keeps them all bundled together. I just am such a big fan of cutting them loose and then putting them in at the height or the look that I want. So once you've got your cans all filled in with these beautiful, beautiful purple flowers, you're then going to take some more twine and add that to where the gingham fabric is. And we're just gonna put a little hot glue, wrap around twice. To finish the look, we're gonna add a simple bow and hot glue it into place. For our next craft, we're going to be using that printable that I mentioned, some orange gingham fabric, this greenery that I picked up from the Dollar Tree, some twine, and then some of the batting. Once you've got your printable cut out, you're then going to pin it down to your fabric. Now I doubled up my fabric so that I can get quite a bit of these all in one cut. I wanted to be able to make a lot of these because today we're going to be making fabric carrots. I have seen these on Pinterest and I wanted to take a try at them myself and to give you all a free printable to be able to make them as well. So once you've got your fabric cut out, You see how I cut out 4 of them from that one cut and pinning down the fabric? You're then going to take your fabric and you're going to take the end and curl it in to the center point of that rounded top. Then you're going to add some hot glue all along it, and then you're going to just glue it in place just like that to create a cone shape. Then you're going to come over on the other side and put some more hot glue, and then continue to just roll it over until everything is glued into place. Now getting down in there can be a little tricky, so I recommend using a pair of scissors or a long stick of some kind to be able to go in and make sure that the hot glue is all nice and smushed into place. Then you're going to take some of that batting, stuff it inside your carrot. Once you've got it stuffed the way you'd like it to look, you're going to take off some of those little green stems. I think these were called onion leaves. I'm not exactly sure. Then you're going to add some hot glue around the edges of the fabric. Be careful adding too much hot glue just because it can melt these little greenery stems, because the hot glue is hotter than what they can handle, I noticed. But just add just a little bit, and then you're going to twist it around at the top to make it nice and tight. And then you're going to take some twine and wrap around the desired amount that you would like. And once you've got everything all twisted around and in place, you're then going to just tie a knot and fray the ends. Thank you so much for watching this video today. It really truly means so much to me. Again, don't forget to click that subscribe button if you haven't already and you're new here to my channel. And please do give this video a thumbs up, letting me know that you are ready for some more spring decor DIYs. And until the next episode, bye friends.